Oh, no problem. All right, sorry. Where am I now? Okay, I was saying that before you even think of creating your database, you have to be able to know how data flows within the system. You have to be able to identify what data is stored on. You should be able to identify, which entity is connected to which other entity and so forth. We're going to be looking at that. So for today, we're going to be looking at entity relationship modeling, and we're going to be looking at normalization. And of course, as I said to you before, sorry, some students just came in, I think. All right. So as I said to you before, we're going to be looking at how entities relate to each other. And we're also going to look at how to create systems that are not prone to errors. All right. So we'll be looking at both. So it is important to note that a database design is independent of the final database system chosen. So we can choose to redesign what we want the system to be like, right? And then after we have done that, we can choose to implement it using something that is quite adaptable to you. You can use Access. You can use MySQL. It's up to you if you want to code from scratch. But we're going to be using tools that will facilitate us actually creating databases easily. All right. So we're using Microsoft Access. We're not going into deep programming. So let us look at some database terms, because you don't want to hear me talking all kind of things and you don't know what I'm talking about. Because I'm sure you hear me use the term. All right. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. My Mona students are just stepping in. I should hope so.
Yeah, that's Talia and Courtney, right?
Hi, Rustin. Hi, Dana. Hi,
you are the ones disturbing us right now.
Yes, you notice all them late and they're closer. Well, not really, right?
It's 9 o'clock too.
I agree. Yes, it's hard to adapt to when it's in the summer, right?
Yes.
Yes.
We don't want to get it's not being nice. I heard database.
Yes, we're talking about database today. Yeah, woo-hoo. All right. So before I go into the terms of associated with databases, you have any questions you want to ask? You have anything you want to share before we move on?
I just want to say I like your voice. I like the tone of your voice. It's very clear.
I don't know the tone of my voice, but thank you. What you hear and what I hear is two different things.
That's with everybody. That's with everybody. But it's clear. That's the clearest I've heard since I started this course.
Really? That has to do with the fact that my mouth is loud. Yes.
That's okay.
For the outspoken people.
Yes.
If I can deal with Talia, I can deal with you.
But you know what I am very interested in? I am really interested in us as teachers being able to use the tools out there to make our lives way more easier.
Amen.
And so many things are out there to help us, but we don't educate ourselves in the right way so that we can really use them to our advantage. So I'm hoping that this course will not be a course that you just say, I want to pass. I'm hoping that you want to take the knowledge, and use it. Use it to make your job easier. Use it to make transparency way more on a higher level, that kind of thing. That's what I'm looking for you to use this to your advantage, not just to get a grade. The grade is important, yes, I agree. But being able to use it is way more advantageous. I remember when I taught in the high school system for 12 years. I think it's 12 or maybe 13. Could be off, right? But let us say 12 years. I don't look it, I know.
Which school?
Oh, Wilmer's Trust High School for Girls.
All right.
Yes. So I taught in the high school for a good number of years. And I remember our school used to use a manual system. And I would say to my principal, but don't you realize that this is a bit tedious? And she would say to me, Karine, what you recommend? I say, I recommend that you need a system. And she would say, you would make it. And I would say, oh Lord.
Yes, that's the next question.
But I did. But what I did was I didn't use my programming knowledge per se, where I didn't code in C, I didn't code in Pascal or anything like that, or Java. What I did, I used Microsoft Access. And I said to her, use this as your temporary solution. It took me days and nights to do. Yeah. But when it was all said and done, it was good. Now they're using RenWeb, but it was a temporary solution to see how effective a database can be and how it can lessen a teacher's job. As head of department, I used to use spreadsheet. So I used to have my templates, and my templates were used to create charts. I just enter data and my charts automatically created. And my reports now, there's a link. So my reports automatically done up, and she would be so, like, wow, this report is beautiful. But she didn't realize that the most of the work was done the first time. But the second time I gave her a report, all I did was just enter data, and they were just adjusted accordingly. So that kind of lessened my job as a head of department. So, being able to use databases is extremely important. To be able to use Word and to use spreadsheet documents. I mean, programming I love programming. You'll see that when I'm teaching it. All right, so let us look at entity. I'm sure you hear me talking about entity, and some persons might be saying, what's that? But it's just that object that you need to represent in your system. So for example, if we're talking about a school grading system, some of the entities that we might need would be teacher, we might need student, we might need to represent grade, because a grade is broken down into coursework grade and homework grade and exam grade. So what you do is that you try to identify the objects that you would need to store data on. That's really what it is, If you can identify objects that you need to store data on, then that means it is a possible entity. Doesn't mean that it must be used, but it's a possible one. All right? So entities are usually recognizable. It's very easy to recognize them. And remember that they can either be abstract or concrete. So I gave you concrete examples like the teacher, the student, and an abstract one would be a grade. It's not tangible, but you need to represent it. Can you tell me any other entities you would identify for a grading system? I give you about a couple of seconds to think about it.
Reading system.
What's that? All right, you could represent subject, but if you say you're going to represent subject, tell me what kind of data you plan to store on subject.
What level it's at? Paper, CSEC, or...
Yes, okay, so we're hearing the level, CSEC level, or if it is first form, second form. All right, fine. What else you'd like to store on subject?
Who is the person in charge of each of those grade levels?
Okay, so you'd want to know...
Spanish was a contact teacher in charge of...
Oh, so your school have contact teachers for every grade, for every subject, grade level. All right, cool. So you'd have to represent that. For me, if I was at Woolmer still, we don't represent that because we just have the HOD who is in charge of everything. But we know that every subject offered is offered by a particular department.
Right.
There is not a crossover. Do you have crossover for any subject that is offered in your schools?
Yes.
Ophelia? Where Ophelia gone?
I'm here.
Hi, Ophelia. I heard that you have a crossover in terms of a subject being offered in more than one department?
No, I was giving an example.
Okay. You were giving an example?
Yes, an example of entity.
Oh, give me an example.
I was saying attendance.
Attendance, all right. If you choose attendance, you have to now tell me what kind of data you plan to store on attendance. Yeah, because if it's going to be an entity, you must be able to identify what kind of data you're going to store on it. So for example, if I say that I'm going to have an entity student, I know I would need to have student name, student grade, I mean, maybe not grade, but student name, student address, student age.
As in the form.
Yes. So if you say attendance, what kind of data do you want to store as it relates to data? As it relates to attendance, sorry.
How about the number of class attended or a number of hours?
Okay. All right. And then what else?
As well as the daily attendance, the amount of days they come to school.
The date?
In the term.
Oh, okay. So you're saying you would store for every attendance, you would need to know the number of days in attendance?
Days present for the term.
Okay, so present days, and what else you would store?
Right.
Dates absent, maybe?
Okay, I just pick up what Ophelia is saying. Ophelia, right? Yes, I just pick up what you're saying because I was trying to connect. But you're actually looking at a table that would have the dates, and for each day, you want to know how many persons were present, how many persons were absent,
yes,
how many lates, that kind of thing. Yeah, okay, right. I buy into it then. I buy into it.
So it would be easy for the end of term results.
Oh, well, you're talking for per student or per day? Because it sounds to me like this is something that you would give to the ministry.
Per student.
Oh.
It can be per student and per student and per class.
Oh, so what you're saying is that every record that you have will be connected for a student will be connected to an attendance record.
Right.
Okay.
But and each class in the school.
Okay, it's viable, Ophelia, and you're thinking outside of the box, which is good. Thank you. Anybody else want to give me one more example of an entity outside of the school realm, though? Give me something else.
Doctor, patient.
All right, doctor, patient. Okay, I love that you mentioned prescription because a lot of times we are quick to identify the concrete ones. So like doctor and patient. But we're not very quick to identify the ones that are abstract, like prescription, diagnosis. That's another one. And I don't know much about doctors more than when I visit them,
Allergies.
Appointments, very good. Which other entity?
Allergies.
Referral? Allergies. All right. I'm not used to this thing yet. So when I'm not talking, forgive me. All right, so is there a way to identify if somebody wants to talk?
Well, there's raise your hand thingy. You'll hear
they have to click raise hand. Yeah, because so far we're all right with the talking.
Because it's not a very large group, so they're talking and we kind of understand each other. So we have
obviously, I see that.
One person is talking with us stuff and then they go.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Yes. Your friend here is saying hi, Jessica. Yes. All right. So where are we now? So we spoke about identifying the entities. Now, when we use the term records, what do we mean? Well, a record is simply referring to an entity occurrence. So, for example, we would have a record for Dexton at UA. We would have a record for Ophelia at UA. We'd have a record for Dana. So it is an entity occurrence. So that is what a record is. I think that's kind of straightforward. Yeah.
That is why, that is why we can go back and ask for transcript because we are in the system. Our records are there.
Yeah, your record's there, right? So you're grading everything relating to you here. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. I need to show little manners. While you're talking, Ophelia, I need to shut up. Yes. All right. Okay. Now let us look at the term attribute. We can use the term field instead of attribute. So this is what a field is. Remember when I said to you, you must be able to identify the data you want to store on a particular entity. Those individual data that we're talking about that we'd like to store, those are actually your fields or your attributes. So if you want to store data on student name is a field. If you want to store data on address is a field. So what we see is that the entity is like a table. I'm talking about like a table with rows and columns, right? So the entity is like a table representing a unit, and that unit can either be concrete or abstract. And then we realize that in the particular table now, we can have one or more records. And the records will represent a unique occurrence of that particular entity. Now, when we look at a particular record, the record has data for that particular. So the record has data that we store, right? And the different data that we are storing, or the different kind of info that we want, is actually what we call our attributes or fields. Am I clear so far? All right. Now, this is an activity that I want you to try, because I believe in transference of knowledge. Now, what I want you to do is don't use a school environment. Use another example, right? A new database system is to be designed at an organization of your choice. Don't use a school. Think about something else and make a list of entities that are of importance to that system. And I also want you to make a list of the possible attributes for 3 of the entities. And then I want you to tell me, the last one is that you must remember to state them singular. So don't say students, teachers, you have to say teacher. Everything is to be singular. Your entity names must be singular. Your attribute names must be singular also. All right? So give you 5 minutes to come up with something unique, right? And to share. Are you able to share like pictures or?
Yes, Miss.
If we log in,
That's what I was saying. Can we do it on Microsoft Excel, on Word? So we just share it after.
Yeah, because I would love for others to see what they have. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, please. Thanks.
Witness the introduction. Hi, how are you? Hi, I am Fabian. This is working with Charles. Yeah, get sure yes, sir. Okay. I am Kareem. Nice to meet you. Yes, we're colleagues, and I'm just sharing what I'm with you. Right. So, as long as you have an understanding, don't think of me as Miss, think of me as your colleague. Sure, we could have come up in this.
No,
we change it.
Yes.
How about the one yesterday?
Well, I'm speaking with the children.
Yeah, it's right. Thank you very much, Val.
So yes, you give us some details to contact you.
For me? No, man, I give you my email address and stuff. Can I see it? Yesterday we tried it and it worked, so we're going to try it again. With what? Contact info? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes I can reach out for help.
Yeah, not too much doing,
No, we
sometimes.
do sometimes.
No, usually the same week after the assignment is due.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, assignments.
Yeah.
Is there an exam for this course?
I heard that there's an exam, yes.
I mean, oh, dear.
So let's.
Yes, love.
When did y'all go for lunch?
The lunch isn't ready until 1:30 up there. But then those guys are probably going to be hungry long
They provide
before.
lunch for y'all yesterday?
Yeah.
And they may have sent you an email to ask you what you want. They may have sent you. But they're probably going to be hungry before they're at home. What we did for the class yesterday is we took lunch at 12 and then we went on 30. But so if you want to have half hour breaks,
Yeah, or 1 hour.
it's until 5, it's a little.
Yes, I understand. Because I want us to have our discussion and then we'll break for about 5 minutes or so. Yeah. You ready? Ready to share? Some sort of way. Oh, you need more time? Okay. Because all you're going to do is just tell me the organization, tell me about 3 of the entities that you have, and then for one of the entities, tell me the attributes. That's okay? Yeah? All right. So, okay, let's start out with, let's see. Dana, I trouble in you first. Ready, Dana?
Yeah, but you have to stop sharing your screen so I could share mine.
Okay. I'm going to get that again. Share screen in pause. Stop. Okay. All right. Yes. All right. So I am going to allow you to give feedback first as a class, and then I will give my feedback if necessary as it relates to if yours need correcting. That makes sense?
Okay then.
All right.
Well, as you can see, I did to create a database for a rental company, and some of the let me use the correct terms. The entities that I would use is the name of the person who will be coming to rent the vehicle, the address for them. I'd also like to add the vehicle type that they would be using, whatever vehicle that they would be renting, the number of that vehicle, and of course, I would like their license number. Of course, you need to check whether the person is authorized driver or not, so you need the license number. And also with the company, you'd probably give them a registration number when they come in for your personal data. Okay, so with the fields, the vehicle type, you have to put the attributes I would add to it is the type, whether it's a car, what type of car it is, whether it's a Toyota, Nissan, Audi, BMW, whatever. Okay, and well, the registration number of that vehicle that they will be using. What else? What am I missing?
Well, I mean, I think you have enough for us to comment. So thank you very much, Dana. Anyone wants to comment?
Are those entities or records?
All right, so, okay, that's a very good question. Very good question. But anybody wants to, but it's, that's the second, what you're asking, if it is that, that's not really a question. So you should really ask, are those entities?
Right, so are those entities? Is the question.
Yes. Anybody wants to answer? Come on, we're too small for us to be scared. You can answer. It's okay to be wrong. Because when you're wrong, you can get corrected. All right, so you want me to come in first? All right. All right, Dana, this is a really good approach. However, what you have identified are the attributes of a particular class. It's the attributes. So what you realize is that you want to store data on name, address, vehicle type, vehicle number, license number, registration number, but all of that represents what in particular, what object are you representing there?
Object, meaning?
The object is that real world entity that you want to represent. For example, I'm going to assume that you are saying that you're representing a vehicle here. So it doesn't matter whatever vehicle you have, you should know the name of it. We have an issue now with address. Is that what you have?
Well, for the name of the person who's coming in and the address of the person.
Oh, so okay. So hold that, stop sharing your screen and I'm going to show you something.
Okay.
And then how I do it again, I got to share what I need to open the thing first. I'll open it up Microsoft Word for you. And then, yeah, here. And but that Word document. All right, Dana, I want you to talk to me again. You told me about name and you told me about address. Yeah?
The name of the individual who will be coming in and also the address of the individual.
So really and truly, Dana, your customer is the entity. Yes.
Well, yes.
So the entity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm going to just show you how we would represent it. Yeah. So okay. So the customer is your entity. So we'll just put that in caps and put customer. And then you are saying for customer that you would need to store the name of the customer. That's your attribute. You would need to store the address of the customer. Anything else you want to store on the customer?
The license number.
License. Now, how you spell license again? Make sure someone has spell it right. That's it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What else you need to store for the customer?
Name, address, license number. I think that's it.
You can stop there if you want to. All right. Yeah, okay. No, I noticed that you had some other attributes. Tell me the other attributes that you have.
Okay, the other attributes that I had is to do with for the rental company. So that's for your info. So you need to know the vehicle, the type of vehicle that you're renting out, the model, the number, the license number attached to it. What else I had?
So, okay. So you're telling me now that I'm going to put those there. You have vehicle number.
Yes.
What else?
The type, vehicle type.
Okay, I noticed you put vehicle type. Yeah. What else you have?
The license number. Well, the
number for the vehicle
number.
Yeah, me and that spelling. License number for the vehicle. Okay. So you have 3 attributes. Now, to be honest, Dana, just look at this and tell me what you're storing data on. Don't think about it too hard. Tell me what
you're storing data on the customers coming in and
no,
what you're...
No, not that part. We're talking about the vehicle number, vehicle type, and license. Tell me what those data represent. What are you storing data on there, son?
Those 3.
Just those 3. Somebody else can help.
But you're just storing information for... Well,
yeah, but this data is being stored on...
Isn't it under the vehicles?
Yes. So what you are saying is whenever you're storing data on vehicle, you want to know what the vehicle number is, you want to know what the type is, and you want to know what the license number is.
Yes.
Very good. So it's not as if you didn't understand the whole idea of identifying stuff, but you had to understand that you have to find the entity first and then the data that you want to store on that particular entity. But it's okay. You did a bottom-up approach. So you identified all the attributes and then we group them according to entities. And that's fine. So you think you learned something today, Dana?
I sure did.
All right. I am going to ask, Dexton, share with me what you have. And then I'm going to ask Courtney to share what he has. Okay. And then now that should give you a better understanding of how we identify entities and their attributes and so forth. All right. So I'm keeping yours.
Like to share what I have.
Who is that?
Rosaline.
Rosaline. All right. I'll take what you have also, Rosaline.
Okay. All right.
No issue with that. Yes. I'm going to keep what you're giving me because I want to use that to illustrate some other points. All right. So I am going to stop sharing my screen now, right? That's how it goes? All right, good.
All right, here I go. I only need one entity though.
You have, all right, you have to tell me the organization first.
It's a doctor's office.
You're not sharing.
Are you seeing it now?
It has started. Okay, cool.
Right. So, at the doctor's office, of course, doctors need patients, right? So this is the entity, the patient's table, and attributes on the table: the patient's ID number, the first name, last name, date of birth, gender, address, weight, height, next of kin, the next of kin telephone number, the patient's contact, and the ailment. Right? And I just put, for example, just put in one patient, the patient's ID number, their first name, and so forth. So right across here, we would have one record for one patient, right?
Okay.
Yes.
So did you identify any other entities?
I was going to do another one, but I got caught red-handed, so I had to stop.
Okay, because what I wanted you to do for me, see Dexter, you can stop sharing now. That was good. All right. What I wanted you to do for me was identify some other entities, and then we would be able to see, you know, some of the entities that are involved when you're talking about a particular organization. Like, let us see. So for Dexton, you have identified for a doctor's office that you need to represent patient.
Sure.
Right. And you notice I am using singular. You notice it's singular? Right. So you're saying for the patient, we need name, address. What else you have? ID. I think you had said ID.
Yeah, patient's ID number. Right.
Yeah.
Their height and their next of kin, their telephone number, their address, their ailment. So they.
All right. Ailment, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Gender.
Let me get rid of this here. Oh, okay. All right, we get the essence of what you're saying, but tell me another one now that you would find.
Another entity?
Yeah.
All right. I could probably use another table called ailment or sickness or condition or so, in which I would have patient's ID numbers, the same.
Okay, so for the ailment, you would have to know who is the patient.
Right.
Okay.
The date of the treatment or the date the visit.
Okay.
The last visit.
You'll call it date of treatment.
So want a better term. Or the visit. Or so. The gender of the patient as well.
Oh, so you're going to repeat gender. Anybody see an issue with that? Remember we were discussing that?
Right, because, well, I guess I could leave out gender because the patient ID number and the visit.
Okay.
Well, we cross-reference with the previous table.
So
identify the patient, I guess.
Yes, but you're making a good point. And when we start talking about normalization, you're going to see the inefficiency of recommending gender, right? But for now, you're forgiven. You don't have the knowledge yet to know that that's not allowed. But of course, we'll be good. You know, we're going through step by step. All right, who was next? Courtney, yes. Let me stop sharing my screen. Take over, Courtney. All right. All right, I'm going to call on Rosalind then. You find it? Okay. Ready? All right, okay. So everybody's seeing So tell me what you identify as your entities, Courtney.
All right, so I'm looking at a bank as the organization. So far, I've had 4 entities. Well, 3 of them is one partnership. We have the account, branch, the transaction, and an employee. That's the 3 entities or 4 entities, and beneath them, I have these different fields or attributes, as it's called.
Right.
The account has an account number, branch has a branch ID, and the transaction has a transaction ID. And these are the other things that are related to the various entities that are there.
Very good. All right. So, what do you think so far, guys? Is it getting a little bit clearer now? Yeah? Oh Lord, are you going to leave me alone?
Yes, I think it's clear.
Yes, yes. Thank you. All right, Rosalind, you're next, and then I'll ask Ophelia to wrap up for us. You're next, Rosalind.
You're on mute, Rosalind.
Yeah. Are you seeing anything?
Not yet.
Sometimes I forget how to do that.
I think you have to look to the bottom or at the top at the same problem.
What's about going, Courtney?
I'm not a teacher.
I'm not
Related.
First time we met once I saw slide.
Are you seeing anything?
Yes, we are. Thanks.
Okay. So correct me if I'm wrong.
No problem.
It's for the Grace Union Church. I believe the entities would be like board member, ordinary member, department, night programs, daily programs. And you said just do attributes for one of them. So I did it for department, the Sunday school department, men ministry, women ministry, youth ministry, etc., etc.
Okay. All right. So let us see if we can dissect this. I am seeing that you have board members separate from ordinary member. Are you, what kind of data you're going to be collecting on a board member?
Well, male, like number of males, females, age.
All right. No, if you say board member, you have to talk about a particular board member. That's the record. So if you have a board member, what kind of data you want for your board member?
The person's name,
all
for
right.
sure. The person's age.
Yes.
Gender, male or female.
Maybe contact number.
Yes, contact number. Number of years present at the church, etc.
Okay. Now tell me some of the data that you would need for an ordinary member.
Basically, the same thing.
All right then. So you know what we have just recognized, Rosalind? You don't need a board member entity and an ordinary member entity. What you need is a member entity. Because it's the same kind of data that you would need to store. Agree?
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to stop sharing your screen so I can represent yours on my little sheet that I have.
Okay then. Stop share.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So it's share the screen. Good. All right. So I am going to represent what you have now, Rosalind, and you are saying that you would have to represent a member. And for that particular member, you would need to know name, address, maybe their age. Remember,
Yes.
you mentioned age,
Yes. Yes.
contact number, and then
Mhm.
what I would drop in now immediately is a type of member.
Okay.
That
All
makes
right.
sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So I would say type of member, and then we could put in bracket that we're looking for if the person is a board member or an ordinary
Ordinary.
member. So that's the kind of data that we want. We want to know for every member their name, age, contact number, gender, and the type of member that that person in particular is. Now, what
Okay.
was the other one that you have now? You had a bigger one that was broken up into.
Department.
All right. So we need to represent departments now. So let us say for every department, what did you say that you would collect data on again?
Just let me just get it here. For well, actually, I was putting the name of the department.
Aha. So what you really need to store is the name of the department.
I get it now.
Yes. You're getting it? All right. And
Yes,
then what else you
getting
need?
there. Okay, the name of the department,
Mm.
the meetings, like the nightly meetings,
Or the meeting times?
yeah, meeting times,
Mm-hmm.
number of members as well.
Yes.
Okay, I get
Maybe
it.
you have a leader, right?
Ye- yes, so the
Mm-hmm.
name of the leader would go there as well. Okay.
Yeah. That making more sense to you now? So
Yes.
when you're
Yes.
storing data, so far I think you mentioned that you have 4 departments. So those
Yes.
would be your records. And then for
Ah.
each of them now you would want to, you know the names. So for each of them you want to know in addition when they meet, as well
Yes.
as the number of members, and you want to know who the leader of the team is or the department is.
Okay.
And then no, you had 2 other columns. What are those?
Yes. The two other columns. Just hold on. I had the women. Oh, for the entity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had night program, daily program, but I guess just dealing with what you just doing what you just said would take care of that.
Okay, but do you have any kind of data that I'm thinking that you could name this one program? So what kind of
Oh,
data you would want to store on program?
well, I would put a youth program, children's program.
Oh, so you want to know the type of program
Yes.
type? Yes, what
Yes.
else?
The meeting times for the program.
Oh, okay.
You know,
So
etc.
program and department they are different?
No, well, that's what I was just telling you. You asked me for the.
Oh,
I was telling you that what you just explained has taken care of the program.
oh, okay. So that's
Yeah.
gone. So nobody
Yes, it's
don't have
gone.
no tree table to give me?
Well, if I had understood, now that I get it clearer,
Yes.
I can give you how many tables now.
All right, give me one more. Because I don't want everybody to believe it's only 2.
Okay, what could I think of? All right. Let me see what you have there. We have departments, members.
Taylor was offering a suggestion.
But well,
Event.
yes, Talia, what was that?
Event.
What is it?
Event.
Special events.
Mhm.
Right.
Special events, yeah.
All right, so we just call it event,
Okay.
right? And then what would we store on? What kind of data we need for event?
Well, I would say I think the data would be very similar. You would need to know the
Mhm.
time, the
Okay.
name of the event.
Okay, so we could say event name,
Yes.
the time,
Venue would be
venue,
another.
date, and what about the department that's putting it on?
Oh, yes, correct.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rosalind. I
Yeah,
think
thank you.
that has helped to clarify things for you. Anybody want me to validate what you have? All right, so I'm going to ask Thalia to share what she has. And then after, is there anybody else who want me to validate what you have? And then we'll take about a 5-7 minutes break.
Yes, miss.
All right.
I want to take a look at mine.
So who said yes, apart from Thalia?
Ophelia.
Ophelia, okay. All right, so let me find you, Ophelia. So let me stop sharing. Yes. Okay, Ophelia, you're clear.
Mine is very different from everybody else's own.
Yours is very what, Ophelia?
Different from everybody else's own.
Oh, okay.
Are you seeing it?
Oh, construction. Okay. Scroll, let me see what you have. Okay. What's the name of that table?
I don't know.
All right. So let us go the way we went with Dana, because Dana was the one who started us off, right? And she had attributes. Now I noticed that you have attributes for name, job description, address, ID, NIC, contact, monthly, hourly paid, salary. Agree?
Yes.
All right. Now, why you need name? What's your plan? Why is it that you're storing data on name? Name of what?
The name of a person.
Okay, and that person in that organization is an employee?
It can be a contractor, it can be, yes, it can be
All
the
right.
contractor, the foreman, or the other staff members.
Okay, so you know what I pick up from what you're saying there, Ophelia? Ophelia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know what I'm picking up from there? I'm seeing that you need to represent your employee. What you need for your employee now, what kind of data you need to collect for every employee will be their name. You need to know the type of job that they do or their position. Let us more say the position in the company. So because you're saying that a person can either be a contractor, foreman, or a normal construction worker. Am I wrong? Answer me now, Ophelia.
You're breaking.
I'm breaking. Oh, your internet connection messing up. All right, so let's go again. You need to represent your employee. Agree?
Mm-hmm.
And for every employee that you have, you want to know the employee's name. You want to know the employee's position in the organization. So if they're a contractor, foreman, or a construction worker, you want to know their address. It seems to me like you want to know their job description too. Their ID. What is NIC?
NIC is what they pay on a monthly basis to the country.
Oh,
or on a
okay.
basis to the country.
Okay, and you want to also know their contact number.
Yes, because you are responsible for payments.
Oh, and you want to know their hourly pay, and you want to know their monthly pay, and you want to know the salary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So you want to know all of that as it relates to a worker who works for the construction site. So, all right. Stop sharing your screen, of Ophelia. Let me share mine now. All right, thank you. Share screen. Going back to that. Mm-hmm. That's really matter. All right, so let's see now. So what you want to do is represent an employee. And then for the employee, you said that you need you said ID number, didn't you? ID number, name. You had said job description. You want to store also their contact number based on what I remember. You want to store their position. And for position, we are only accepting contractor, foreman, and a construction worker, I guess, or regular worker. All right?
Yes.
But the actual attribute is their position. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
And what else? You had something that I didn't know, which is a NIC. And I think that's it. So that covers a construction employee. So if you wanted to make it a little bit more specific, you could say construction employee. So every construction employee, we need to know what their ID number is, the name, their job description, contact number, the position they hold, as well as their NIC. Did I leave off anything, Ophelia?
Yes, but that's okay.
Okay, all right. And then now, what else you have? You have something to represent salary. That's all?
Yes.
Okay, so we could have a table. We could have a table called salary. And then for that table, what would we want to know about a person's salary? Well, we need to know who is getting it.
How do they get paid and how do they get paid? Yes.
Okay. Come again, Ophelia.
How do they get paid? The person's name.
Right, so we have their ID. So we'll just use the ID. Right,
Okay.
so let's say worker ID. And then for every worker ID now, for their salary, we maybe need to know what is their hourly hours worked.
Right.
What else you want to know? Their hourly pay. I think you had that there. What else? Maybe their gross pay. And then the net pay. Yeah?
Yeah.
The tax. And you could represent each tax amount, you know. But you get, essentially you get the idea, right?
Yes, it's like what we get. It's like our salary slip, this one.
So the salary table will only speak to salary stuff.
Right. It's like the salary slip we get on a monthly basis.
Right. And then the construction employee table just deals with data relating to the construction worker. So it would take in the demographic data. You know, tell me your position, tell me your job description, maybe not demographic, but
it just reminds me of me as a teacher when I go to the Ministry of Education and I have a problem or query, I just tell them who I am. I say who I am. I give them my information and all of that will come up. And then if it's concerning salary, then they'll give me probably a slip which says everything like that. So it's good.
So you can imagine now if you stop working at the ministry, if you had put everything in one table and you just you stop working at the ministry and they want to remove you as a current employee, you know what can happen? Because you have everything in one table, they can't just remove you like that, because if they remove you, they remove everything relating to you, and it's as if you never even worked there. That's not a good thing. So that is why we have to identify the various entities that we need to represent. And then, of course, when we do normalization this evening, you'll see its importance in ensuring that there is no redundancy and problems that will mess up our insertion, deletion, and updating of data. All right? So I'm going to give you a little break now. You have done very well, class. Yeah. Yes. Very well, because I want you to think about, for your project, I am going to actually give you leeway as to what you design for your database. I am not going to give you specific instructions for an organization or whatever. I want you to transfer knowledge for a particular organization, and I want you to identify the entities that you're going to be representing. I want you to identify the attributes for those entities and so forth. So when you go home this evening, and those who are already home, when class finish this evening, what you're going to do is thinking about the different entities for your particular organization. You can change it if you want to, because you never know that I was going to tie this into your project. Yeah? So you can think of another area that you are very versed in, know about the functions and everything, and identify the entities. Try don't go more than, say, 5 entities though. That because 5 too much anyways. But identify some entities, not more than 5, and no less than 3. So yeah, between 3 and 5 inclusive. And you must identify the entities involved. All right. And we're going to walk through the stages for a database. And hopefully when we're finished, you would appreciate the whole process. All right. So we're going on a break now, and I will see you in the next 10 minutes. Is that sufficient? It works?
No.
You can, no? Who said no? Oh, somebody want less? Like 5 minutes?
Somebody wants more.
You're lucky. The more
What time are we having lunch?
All right, so I give
What
you.
time are we having lunch? What time are we having lunch?
Maybe 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're at home, so you
Alright.
can eat and have lunch.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, so 10 minutes.
All right.
All right.
10 minutes starting now.
So, do you prefer Carleen or Mrs. Rodney?
No matter. We're colleagues.
I noticed on the outline that there's a lot of.
No, that outline needs to change.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll upload it as soon as I finish it
Thank you very
tonight.
much. All right. But I was confused.
We're just going to be doing.
Focusing on.
Yeah, wrong outline. I'll upload the new one because we're just doing database, spreadsheet, problem solving, and programming. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, a Pascal. Yeah. And I might push you a little, teach you Pascal, and then show you how C look too. Yeah. And let you realize that everything not.
No knowledge of process. Yeah, no, it's that hard because CC and CC and CC. You don't see any of the areas of that stuff. What's important is not to kill. That's just the syntax.
Right, that is all they need to learn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just what's important is that you don't say how Pascal is terrible and why are they still teaching Pascal? Because it's never good.
Not necessarily. It's one of the easiest languages to teach.
It's for teaching. The things that they're going to be using.
No.
To teach them
You don't teach language. You don't really teach language. You teach problem solving techniques.
True.
And then you use a language to help them to implement it. Because what you want them to do is see it at work. Because as you know, algorithms are very abstract. So some persons don't trust what they're writing, or they can't test it based on, implementation. So we just use a language that will allow them to implement it. And you try to use the easiest language, meaning it doesn't have a lot of syntax. And then after that, because they have learned how to, do problem solving, they learn about some of the restrictions as it relates to implementation, then you can learn any language, as long as you know its structure and it's the syntax. Yeah. So it's not about the language to go out there to use, but more about the skill. And then using that skill with any language at all. All right, I'm going to get my daughter something to eat. I'll do that. Yes.
Hey, daughter, how are you? What school did you go to? I just like to go across there. I back you. Family. You something like that. Maybe to the as an alumni, as the daughter of an alumni, as the mother of a future alumni. Oh, Jesus. What?
Everyone else doesn't believe that wherever you go, your children have to go to.
No, I just believe that it was a wonderful time.
No such a
And my child being
but I wouldn't want you to
Hey, what's happening?
How are you?
I'm doing all right. Oh, we're still recording, but how are you? I know you can't see us, but you're here. We can see you.
Did you miss me yesterday?
Yes, yes. How's your boy? Is he okay?
Well, the fever has gone down, but he has this running nose now.
Oh, well, I hope he takes it easy and doesn't try to do too much.
Yeah, but he's taking his meds. I'm feeling sick now.
And I pray that you get some rest when he's better. I know there's no rest right now.
No rest, no rest. Especially after that course outline I read last night. My head hurts.
Yeah, yeah.
This assignment for next
watch the video. Yeah, yeah. Watch the video and you get some time.
Yeah, but let me tell you, the assignment for the other class, we have to do lesson plans for all the objectives.
15 lesson plans.
Lesson
and choose 3 out of them to teach the micro teaching. 3 separate micro teaching. Don't you just love it?
Courtney.
Wonderful.
I'm just being sarcastic, right?
I know. But then programming is new to me. It's like, anyway, it's like I have to go and learn it and then try to come and do the lesson plans and teach it in 4 weeks.
Yeah. Yep. But I think you'll be learning the programming stuff in this class. So
yes, that's what I noticed. She'll be touching a bit, so at least we can use some knowledge from this class.
All things being equal, they should be able to kind of make the transition. But what I would recommend that you do is to visit YouTube. There are a lot of...
Yeah, I said I'll go on there later to see.
And people always want to help teaching.
And they want detailed lesson plan like how we did for the last class?
Yeah. Well, she gave the outline for it in the same file, so.
Oh, there's an outline. Okay.
Intense, yes.
Okay then. I realized that Miss Camille didn't get my email at all. That's probably why I didn't get the email for class yesterday.
Well, I don't know. They're just, it's not from her. I think it was from the office.
No, but I normally get all the emails from Med Online, from Miss Mills. Because the one she sent me said that the only class you have for this week is this one, which we're.
Was it the same email that had information for science?
Yeah, on the Zoom link and everything, yes.
I think it was just a confusion.
Because when I came home, I checked it again, and it's exactly what it is. That's why I didn't know about the class yesterday.
Oh, don't worry yourself. It was a kind of confusing email. I was here on Monday, and then I realized, oh, it's Wednesday.
No.
No.
I hope she explains the assignment again when we meet on Monday.
I'm sure she will.
Yeah.
In the meantime, start gathering your thoughts.
Yeah, that's what I want to try working on, because it's really a testing period for me right now. Mm-hmm. Because my grandfather is in and out of hospital. He's like on his dying bed right now.
Yeah.
And I have my sons who are sick, so it's really a lot.
Both of them are sick?
Yeah, the second one fell sick last night.
Oh, jeez.
I guess whatever the younger one has is contagious, so.
Well, please don't inhale deeply when you go in his room.
I cannot, they all want to sleep on me.
You cannot afford to be sick right now.
Yeah, and I'm already feeling my head this morning, so this is why I'm kind of quiet this morning.
I can see it though.
Yeah, I'm taking meds, so hopefully.
Lots of juice and get the sleep that you can get.
Yeah.
Never mind. Anyway, go on and check on them and come back.
Yeah, I did that already.
Oh, you did that already? All right.
Yeah, they're upstairs playing.
Okay. All right, we're just chilling out here.
Yeah, let me get something to eat in the meantime.
Okay, we'll be here. Everybody, and then I just realized it. What's not saying that up there? The topics, the topics are okay, right? It's just the outline that needs to be changed.
Yeah.
So,
No, with what topics you see?
Planning IT, the database one yet. Planning IT lessons, introduction to lesson planning.
That's for the other course that you're doing with Camille. Mm. So I teach you content and she teaches you how to teach it.
Oh, okay. All right. So do we want to examine? So do we want to examine?
We'll see. I'm still trying to find out. Me? I support anything that works. Anything that makes my work easier.
By the way, it's very interesting, but because of my unique situation, I'm not a classroom teacher.
Right.
In fact, I tend to sometimes consult practices and so it's a possibility between now and next week I might be starting out a new project for a year.
Okay.
And it's a strong possibility that 9 to 2 class sessions is difficult for me to be here. I'm trying to work on it to see if I will be able to work, come to class and then do whatever afterwards, depending. But if not, I may have to just get the information and
online and just do the rest. Okay.
So let's see. But I'll try to come in and
do something. Yes.
As I can.
Makes sense. We all have our restrictions, right?
I was thinking when which is one of the reasons why because I really want to go into lecturing. But I've always had a problem in the postgraduate diploma education because most of them are face. So when I saw this program that's an online meeting, I was like, whoa, finally. But then I realized that
it's not as online as you thought.
You're doing a lot of conference stuff, but you still are required for the most part to do face to face. So it's a little challenging from that perspective. I'm not working right now, so it's kind of helping that aspect. I'm not sure what the next 2 weeks will be.
Okay. Welcome back, Dana. I go and cut the breaks them then, because we're not obeying the 10 minutes. That means we shouldn't get any breaks.
They'll be back. They'll be back shortly.
Oh, so what are we going to talk? So, you know, Jack and Jill went up the hill.
Oh, that's start teaching everything.
I got you.
What's that? Let them know about WhatsApp groups.
Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm.
You may now continue.
All right. Let me check first. I'll give him until 11 flat. And then we start.
So for this course, we'll be doing all 4 areas. Database, Word.
No Word. Because Camille will use Word to teach you certain concepts. So she's using Word for teaching you how to teach and whatever. So
it will be Excel database.
Spreadsheet database, problem solving and programming. You wanted to do web design?
I was excited. What can I get next?
We'll see. I just might be able to squeeze it in. All right. Welcome back, Rosalind. All right. And Ophelia and Jessica. Okay, we can start.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So now we're going to be looking at some other terms. We have looked at entities, attributes. We've looked at records. Now it's time for us to look at key fields. Now, everything that I'm about to tell you from now on as it relates to the terms are relating to your attributes. So if we go back to what Rosalind and everybody else gave that I had represented here, we know where our attributes are, right? Our attributes are after the names of the different entities. Good? So when we're talking about key field, we're talking about a key attribute. So let us go back to that. So what is a key field? A key field is a data item that allows us to uniquely identify individual occurrences of an entity type. So if we should go back to this example, we would have to identify key fields inside of each entity, because what is happening is that the entity has a number of records, and every record must have something that is unique about it, something that no other record will have. For example, in your country, like in Jamaica here, we have TRN number, and no two persons share the same TRN number. So that would be unique. So what you have to do is look at your fields and identify what attribute would be your key field. Now, what is a key field again? The key field stores data that is unique to each record. So you will never find 2 records with the same TRN number. You will never find 2 records with the same construction worker ID number. You'll never find 2 records with the same vehicle number, because every record that we have would have a unique ID or whatever number, a unique field. All of unique data can go into those fields, and we call that our key field, right? So the key field is any data item that allows us to uniquely identify individual occurrences or an entity type. So what is good about this is that when we have key fields, we can sort our records according to these key fields. That's good. So that's what we can do. We can sort and we can retrieve data easily because these are unique. So for instance, in a student's table, you could use a combination of the last name and first name fields, or perhaps you could use a combination of last name, first name, and birth dates to ensure you identify each student uniquely as a key field. Now, what we're saying is that the key field doesn't have to be one particular field. It can actually be more than one fields coming together. And when we look at them together, it is unique. So for example, we might have 2 students in the class by the name of John Brown. So if we choose to make the key field be both John Brown, last name and first name, then that wouldn't be good, because you can have 2 persons in the same group having the same name. So we would have to find something else that is going to help to make it unique. So sometimes you could choose to use, as in this case, the last name with the first name and the date of birth. So when you put all 3 together, you will never find one person with the same info. Now, how is it that organizations normally just get rid of all of this rigmarole? They just give everybody a particular ID number. They give every room, if they're using a room, an ID number. Every vehicle has a number. So what they do is just have a unique number instead. But if you choose not to do that, you can do a combination of fields, and when you combine them, you will not have 2 records or more having the same kind of data. I'm going to let you process that for a bit. And then I want you to write 1 sentence of what you understand about what I just said. Just 1. All right, so the first person I'm going to call on to tell me your sentence. Jessica, I'm going to ask you first. Then I'm going to ask Rosalind, and then Courtney. Yeah. Ready, Jessica? One thing that you understood from what I said. You're muted, Jessica.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yes, Jessica.
Okay. No one person can have the same key field. Everybody has a unique number, you were saying. Just like in St. Lucia, Ophelia's database had the NIC number. That's your national ID number. Everybody has a unique number. Nobody has the same NIC number. So that would be the unique field.
So the key field is, in your case, what you understood is that a key field is a field that only holds unique values.
Right.
And no 2 records or more can have that same value. And you give the example of the NIC.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you, Jessica. All right, who's next? Rosalind, you're next. Rosalind? Oh, you're muted, Rosalind.
Yes. What I have is when looking at key field, it is easy, or it is easier to, or it is necessary to use an ID number for each individual field, or use a combination of 2 fields.
All right. So it's not for each field, but for each entity.
Oh, each entity. Right.
So every entity must have a key field. Yes? And that key field can either be just 1 field or a combination of fields within that entity. Got that clarified, Rosalind?
Yes.
So every entity that you look at will have a key field. Yes? And that key field can either be just one field in that entity or a combination of fields within that entity. Courtney, you're next.
This is a field that uniquely identifies the records within a given entity. For example, a student ID. And
yes.
As you said, it can be either singular or it can be
more than one. Yes, very good. So what Courtney, everybody heard Courtney, right? Everybody heard Courtney? Yes. So Courtney, as you said, I agree. It is a unique field, right? So it's data that is unique to a particular record, yes, for a particular field. So let us go back to the examples that you gave. Can you tell me any field or fields that we can combine to make a unique or a key field for customer? Are you seeing it, right? You seeing it? The word screen? You seeing the diagrams? No? Okay.
Oh, you have to share it.
Yeah. My bad. Okay, let's try again. Oh, so every time I change the screen and I want to share it, I have to. Oh, Lord. Okay. All right, ready? So we're looking at the customer entity. Now, what fields here, field or fields can be used as the key field?
License number.
Okay, so a person's license number cannot be the same as another person's own? Okay.
No, it has to be very different.
All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to... Okay, Thalia is saying but.
What happening families?
Oh, but we're just representing that.
Two drivers and each of them go to rent a car at different times.
Okay, only one person's data we would take. So the customer will either be the father or the mother.
But is this customer entity information on just the people who are currently renting or anybody who was renting at any given time?
Well, anybody who was rented would be a customer.
I'm thinking the license number is identifying them, but let's say, all right, let's say my husband and I, who have one car, go to another part of the world and we're renting two cars.
Yeah, but is it for the same organization?
So is
the same rental organization?
Is this license number the license number of the vehicle that we're renting? Or are we using it as identifying the person? You see what I mean?
Driver's license number. Well,
so
I see your point. Whether it is the license plate number or is it the driver's license?
Oh, okay. So let us get clarification on that. I think Dana was the one who came up with this one. Dana, what was this again?
It's supposed to be driver's license.
Oh, so we'll put that.
So that would be.
And I had license number, which means the vehicle's license number.
Okay, so that's the one that you're renting.
Okay.
And we had moved it over here.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, so we got that clarified. Yes. Thank you, Thalia. Thank you, Dana, for responding. So we're seeing here that driver's license number would be our key field. And we're saying that no two persons would have the same driver's license number. Okay, so I will just bold and, I will just bold and underline that because that is our key field.
Okay.
How are we doing so far?
Good.
All right. What about the vehicle class now? What would be our key field or what combination of fields would make up our key field?
Here.
All right, somebody, I don't know when you raise your hand. But...
On the vehicle, in this section there?
Yes, Rosalind.
I would think that the key field here,
Is there anything?
I'm thinking probably it might be the because we have vehicle number there, and we also have license number.
Okay.
And both of them refer to the same vehicle.
Right, but you see the license number here, Dana, I think you can clarify this. The license number here is still talking about the driver who got it, right? Yes, she said yes. So, okay. So this vehicle number is a vehicle plate number, as Thalia had mentioned. So if we look at all three, so which one would make the best field?
I would say the driver license number, just like in
But
this case.
all right, okay. But do you realize that a particular driver can rent a vehicle now and come and rent a vehicle another time?
Yes.
Yes. And what's gonna happen there? If you make that the key field, then you're going to have a repetition.
What do we want to find out here?
We want to find out the field that will not allow for any repetition of value.
Well, in that case, the vehicle plate number then.
Yeah. So we're saying that for that field, you can't have any repetition. So you can't have for one record the same license plate as another record. It has to be unique. Now I see what your contention is. And of course, I can tell you how to solve that easily. So what we can do is take that out and just have things relating to vehicle. So what is unique to vehicle? Just the plate number now, right? Yeah, but the type, of course, we know more than one vehicle can be of the same type. Yes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this out, the one that I just took out, take out that, and then I am going to make another table. But this table is, maybe we'll call it vehicle assignment, right? So let us call that vehicle assignment. And then what we will put now, we will put the key field from here and the key field from here over to here. So we have that, and then we have driver license number. And then what will happen is that these two now will form our key field. Although, I see an issue there, but it's okay. We can work with it for now. So what we're saying is that when you come here, what will form the key field is two fields will form it. So the vehicle that is assigned to a particular driver will form the key field. And maybe, I can see an issue there. We can drop in the date. Yes, because remember that a driver might rent from a particular company and love a particular vehicle. So when they come back, they're coming back for that vehicle. And okay, so all right, so they're going to rent the vehicle twice in a day?
Possibly that they just rent the vehicle for, let's say, 2-3 hours, but then the next person rents that same vehicle.
But the next person who rents a vehicle would have a different license number.
And it would be a different time.
And okay, so you want us to drop time in there as one of them?
Yes.
Okay, so that means that vehicle assignment would have 4 different fields making up our key field. But want you to question me now, please. Beg you. Because that's how you learn.
What I'm concerned about, probably yes. I'm going too far. How do we represent that?
The key field?
No, all this information. Mm-hmm. We have them in little boxes all separate. So,
yes.
Organize them for the database. Is that how it's going to look?
Yes. So when we go to Microsoft Access now, so let me just find Microsoft Access on this. You tell me if you see it. I'm kind of partially blind. I don't know why I don't have on my glasses. And it's right in front of me. All right, it's all right. I'll just type it. Okay. All right. So I think I have to stop something. I've never used 2013 though, so. Oh. That's terrible, is it? All right, I want a new database. Oh Lord.
You want a sample one?
Huh? If I want a what?
You want a sample one? Doesn't give you a blank one or?
That's what I'm looking for, a blank one. I'm wondering if why the interface will look different. I'm at new. It should give me a blank one. I didn't realize I have or let me see. I'll figure it out.
Click on home.
At home, this blank desktop. Yeah, thank you. All right. So it means now that I would need a table. Yeah. So I'm going to rename this table. I can't rename the table object. Okay, fine. I have to close it first. Yeah. Okay. So what is it that I want to create? A new table? All right then. Save. Right. All right. Bearing in mind that I've never used 2013, so yeah, I'll adjust quickly though. Okay. So what was the table that we saw? You see in the screen?
No.
Oh Lord.
No.
Let's go again. All right. You see now?
Yes.
All right. So you remember me saying to you that we need a, what was it? We need a customer. We need a customer table. Okay. And then now we are going to right click on this and we're going to go into design view. Right? And then we're going to do write the things that we need now. Do you remember what are the fields that we have?
For customer,
We have
driver's license name.
Right, so we have driver license number. What was the other field that we have?
A name.
Okay, so okay, let us put in the type immediately. So what type of data we want for the driver's license?
Well, it would be a number.
But if it's not a number that you're going to calculate with, then it's going to be text.
It bold.
What was that data? I know when you look at it, you see a number, right? But if you don't plan to do any calculation with it, it has to be text. All right? Okay, what was the other one?
In addition,
we have the name.
Driver's license have letters.
Oh.
We don't know which country.
Oh, Courtney was saying that some license number have letters.
Yeah, they have letters. Some of them have letters attached to them.
So the safest one is text anyways.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. What was the other attribute that we have?
We had name, address.
Name. We have, oops, I forget it's another name. So let us say, to be on the safe side, driver name. That's text. And then we have what?
Address.
Address.
Address of driver.
What else? Text, right? And that was it?
Yes.
And then remember that we said that the key field is actually what?
The driver's
license, which is here. So we could have clicked on it, and if we wanted to remove it, I could have just removed it by saying it's not the primary key, but it is, yeah? So we'll put primary key, and then we save it, and I have a tendency to close things if I'm not using it. All right, then I create another table, but for this table, let us save it immediately, and this one is called vehicle. Am I helping you now, Rosalind? Rosalind?
Yes, miss, I'm following.
Good, good. All right, so tell me now the fields that we have for vehicle again. We have vehicle plate number and vehicle type. So let's put vehicle plate number, which is text. And then we have the type, which is text also. And we could make a combo box if we want, but we're not going into details with that one yet. All right, and let's save this and then close it. Then we need a third table. So I create table, and I'm creating this time my third table. Let me save it immediately. But this one is what we call the vehicle assignment. And based on what we had discussed, we realized that, let's go into design view, right? Because you have to go into the design view to make the fields. And then here now we realize that we want the vehicle plate number. We also, the vehicle plate number is text. We also want the driver
license
number, yes. What else we want again? We had agreed on date.
Yes.
And that would be type
And time.
date and time, yeah. Yeah, but it's the format is date. You want to drop the time into it? You have to separate it. Yeah. Then we have time, which will be date and time also. But what aspect of it, we will figure that out. What's next? What else did we agree on? That was it?
That was it.
Yes, 4 things. Now, do you realize that all 4 of them are primary keys? Help to make the one primary key? Have I lost you?
No.
Okay. All right, so what we will do is highlight. So I'm holding down the button. I started from the top and I highlight, and then I click on primary key. So what I am saying now is that all of these fields make my one primary key. Any questions? No? All right. You sure? Okay, so let us quickly go through the rest of these. Can we identify the primary key for construction employee?
The ID?
Yes, the ID. So I'll bold and underline that. For salary?
I would say the ID as well.
Yes. All right, going down. Patient. Oh, it's obvious that all the IDs can work here, right?
Yes.
Patient, the ailment is for a particular patient. But are we going to see for this one though? Can't a patient have more than one ailment?
Yes.
So is it safe to say patient ID alone for the ailment table or entity? I'm asking, is it okay to make patient ID in the ailment entity the primary key? It's alone.
Or not by itself.
Yes,
Because
next one.
Yes, you're right. Because one patient can suffer from different ailments. So
yes. So we can drop in an extra field if we feel led to, or we can just combine.
I was just going to ask, I was just going to say we don't have anything in there that says what the ailment is.
Okay, so you want to
either a single ailment or a description of.
Yes. Okay. Oops, but let me just remove that because we didn't agree on that. Anything else?
How about the patient name? No?
How about
the name of the patient? Would it come in there?
Well, the patient name is already over here. You seeing it?
Yes, I'm seeing it there.
Right, so it wouldn't make any sense to put it over here also because the connection is already in the patient's table. But we can't use patient ID as the primary key alone because a patient can have more than one different ailments. So, what do you think? Can we combine the date of treatment with the ID? What do you think? Patient ID and date.
Yes. What okay.
What about the gender?
With the gender?
Yes. Patient ID.
Oh. Okay. So no two patients can have the same ID number. But the treatment. All right. So for example, we could have said, let me just come over here. So for example, we could say the patient ID is 10032. The date of the treatment is August 1, 2014. Description, blah, blah, blah. And then the gender is female, right? That same person can come in 10032. This time, maybe the August 15th. Person have another ailment. Blah, blah, blah. And then F. Do you realize that if you use patient ID and the gender, right, that in another record, you can have the same patient ID and gender?
Yes.
So you see why that combination wouldn't work? So which combination could work though?
I'm thinking.
The description.
Okay, 1 second. Courtney is talking. Yes, Courtney?
I'm thinking that we definitely might need an additional field because I'm seeing that a patient can also, even if we use the description and the patient ID, a patient can also suffer from the same condition more than once.
All right, so you're saying that, so Courtney is saying that we can't combine patient ID with description. I agree, because the person can come in with the same described ailments. We agree with that? All right, so let us move to another combination. Someone else was saying something. And you know the combination doesn't have to be just 2. You can have 3 if you want, like we did previously, we had 4. So give me another one that could work. Yes, Rosalind? No?
I don't know. I'm just thinking. Is it necessary to have what we call it, ailment?
You mean the ailment table?
Yes. Is it necessary to even have that?
Well, we decided that we would represent it.
I'm just thinking. I'm trying to figure out in reality how is ailments anything about ailments recorded?
It's more of a diagnosis that is recorded.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's maybe just in the wrong name. We could have said diagnosis, and the doctor would say who is a patient, the date of the diagnosis, the description of it, and the gender. Although you shouldn't really have the gender here because we already have the gender over here. So we know already the gender of the patient because of the patient table. So really and truly, gender here should not be there. Their gender won't change when their ailment comes, hopefully.
Okay. So we're just trying to figure out the key field.
Yes, and we agree, that patient ID can't be it alone.
Right.
So can I recommend that we use the date and assume that a patient comes to the doctor only once per day?
Okay.
Or that's not safe?
We're just assuming.
All right, so okay, if we assume then that doesn't work, how about we use it with time?
All right.
Yeah.
So there would be 3.
Yeah, so we'd have to drop time into it. So just in case the same person comes twice or thrice, the time is unique. So the date, and can we change this to diagnosis? I would comfortably say diagnosis too. So yeah.
And then in that we could add the doctor's ID.
Oh, so doctor who gave the diagnosis. Okay.
Yes, that's important.
All right, doctor ID. Okay, yeah. And I think if there's more, we could add it, but not now, right? Okay, so we are good. So my example work to clarify the whole situation?
Yes, of key fields.
Yes. All right, help me now with this one. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a chance to process it for yourself. So this line with member department events, I'm going to ask you now to process it for yourself for about a minute, and for each of them identify the key field, whether it's a single one or a composite one, meaning more than one, to make your key field. Yes, the one with members, department, and events, because we already did the ones above.
They have to look as this, or I recommend we have to use it as is, or we can recommend it.
You can recommend. Yes. Are you ready? Okay, so Dexton, can you tell me the one you identified or the key field for member?
I would use the contact number.
Okay, so you're saying that you have this is a church, right? So you have
Right.
members in the church and all of them have unique contact numbers?
That's right.
You sure?
I am quite sure.
Because if they come from the same household and they don't have any cell phone.
More often than not.
Yeah, you don't want to do the more often than not though.
Well, I would combine. Well, then I will combine.
Yes.
Contact number with the age and the gender. Then.
Yes.
With the age and the gender.
Gender. Yes.
Okay, so you're saying that you can't have twins in the home that are females that only use house number.
This is entirely improbable, you know, but I see what you're saying.
What was that, Dexton?
I think it would be highly improbable to have.
In this day and age, right?
Yes.
But there's a possibility. Does a possibility exist?
Yes, it does exist.
And that is a problem. But what I would recommend, no, let me hear what somebody else says. Okay, so Thalia is saying let us make a new field. And I'm assuming that that new field is members ID. Yeah? And we will just make that the primary key. All right, thank you very much, Dexton, yes. Thank you. All right, let us look at department now. And for department, I am going to ask Thalia to tell me what she has.
I had name.
The name of the department?
Yes.
Yeah, no two departments in a church should have the same name. That's what they call confusion.
Right, they always have a junior choir.
Senior choir. Oh, okay. So you don't just say choir.
Right.
Who came up with this one again?
I did. Seriously.
So Rosalind, that's true?
With junior choir and senior choir?
Right. You want to just represent choir overall?
Yeah, there would be sometimes junior choir. Choir.
So the department is really choir. And then it has subdivisions.
Yes.
Oh. All right. Name sound like it can work, right? So we good on that?
What about the leader?
Okay.
Name with leader. What about that?
Well, yeah, name and leader could work, but why? Why you would want to put leader?
Well,
you can have.
As Talia said, you know, there could be the junior choir, the senior choir. Even with the children's ministry, there is also a variation. There's the Sunday school for children. There's also children's church. But all these, in all these little areas, the leader is different.
Okay, but is there a possibility that in the future you can have two choirs, if you just name them choirs, but they have the same director? Possibility.
From what I've known, that is seldom you find that.
Yeah, because in my church, the children's choir and the teen choir both have the same leader.
Okay.
So it's either we're just going to say choir overall, and then have the choir has just one overall leader, and then under the leader we have the different directors.
Okay.
So the name would work in this case. All right, for event, what would we use for the key field for event? This one is thrown out to anybody.
How about departments?
Okay. So you're saying an event. Okay. So let me ask you a question. You said department, right? So what you're saying is that a department can run more than one event. Ever.
Okay.
Or else you're going to have repetition, and that's going to pose a problem.
So then event name would be better then?
Yeah.
Or put it with the event name. So my question to you is, a department can only run an event once? In the lifetime of the church?
So does that mean we would have to enter something else? A number for the event or something like that?
All right. I mean, that's the safest way to go.
Event number. Okay.
But we could have easily used event name and time with date or date, because an event is normally on a particular date. So we could have said event name with date.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, that makes sense too. But event number, I can go with that.
But event number is an easy way out of the problem. So I agree. I will run with the easy way out. So I think you get an idea of what I'm talking about, right? Yeah? Dana, you still alert? You all right? All right, cool. So let us move now back to the notes. So I need to stop and share again. Oh, God. All right, so all of that was all about key fields. So it doesn't make any sense or leave you, and you don't even understand what I'm talking about. So that's why I dwell on it a little bit. Now, well, that is key fields overall, identifying the key fields, but you have different types of key fields, right? So you have a key field that we call primary key. Then we have secondary, foreign, simple, compound, composite key. Let us look at the primary key. Now, the primary key is what we have just exhausted a little while ago, right? Trying to identify the one attribute or the two attributes that will come together to distinguish a specific record from another. We use 4 for one of the actual entities. So the primary key is that one or more attributes that when we put them together, it makes the record unique. And that is what we have exhausted a little while ago. So a very good example, like in St. Lucia, you have the NIC, and in Jamaica, we have the TRN and stuff like that, right? So those would be our primary key. Now, what is it that we understand from the exercise that we just did? We realize that the easiest way out of the problem in terms of primary key is to make sure that every record has a unique ID. That's what we realize. So it's not as if we're saying that you must use the attributes that are there and combine them to make your primary key. What we are saying is, if it is better for you to make an ID and use that as a primary key, then be happy with that and move on and less stress on your life. No, this is very important. A primary key is essential to every single entity, because every record needs a unique identifier. And that unique identifier is our primary key, so it's mandatory. So after you have identified the necessary attributes, you need to now zoom in on the particular attribute or attributes that will help you to form your primary key. It's too essential. You notice that when we were making the table in Access, it made the first field the primary key just by default. Why? Because we must have something that is unique in a record that will easily identify it. And that is why our countries have decided that our name is not unique enough. Because we have persons in the same country with the same first name, middle name, and last name. And our country realized that no, we can't use people's name anymore. So we have to have a number to identify each person. Good? All right, let us now move on to what a secondary key is. Now, the secondary key is like a backup. You have selected to use your primary key, but it doesn't mean that another combination or another key doesn't exist that can actually be your primary key. No, that's what you call a secondary key. So your secondary key is that key you could have used to be your primary key, but you chose not to use it. That makes sense? That's your secondary key. Excuse me. Now, there's something that we call a foreign key. No, a foreign key is a primary key in another entity. That's really it. The foreign key is a primary key in another entity. So we see it represented in its entity as a primary key, and then we see it in another entity, and we say that that's a foreign key as a key. So let us look at the example here. Employee's key is what? Employee number, and then they have department number that they have, you know, and you notice that department number is a primary key in the department table or for the department entity. You seeing that? Yeah?
Yes.
So come again. What's the primary key for employee? Employee number. What's the primary key for department? Department number. But we want to link the two entities. You notice that they are linked? So we want to link the two entities. So how we link it is that we make sure that one of the primary key is an attribute in the other table or in the other entity. In this case, we are saying that every employee is assigned to a department. But if we want that department's information, well, we are connected to department so you can get the department's information. What's the foreign key here? The foreign key is department number because it is a primary key in another table. Anybody want me to explain that further? Silence me and I can move on.
I think I have a question.
Yes.
When we started the class, you showed two examples. One for the IT department and one for the human resource department.
Yes.
So in looking at this, the IT department, rather than having all that information, you know, which the HR department already has.
Right.
They could have just organized it something like what you're showing us now.
Exactly. So what you would have is, well, the IT department would have, well, a database is what we would recommend for the entire organization. Mm-hmm. So you won't have a database for human resource and a database for IT. Mm-hmm. What you would have is a general database for the entire organization. And in that database, we would have maybe a table that stores demographic data for your employees. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? And then we would have a table that stores salary data for your employees. That's all I'm seeing here right now. And also departments. So you would make the link. So what we would see is an overall database so far with 3 tables or 3 entities. One representing your employee, one representing department, and one representing salary. And how would we connect now salary to a particular employee? Well, in salary table, you would need to know the employee's number. And that's all you need to know, you know. That's all you need to know, the employee's number. Because if you know the employee's number, all you need to do is connect to the employee's table, and you'll get all the data relating to an employee, like when they're born, where they live, and so forth.
Okay.
Did I satisfy you, Rosalind?
Yes, miss.
All right. So let's go back to where I was. So we look at the primary key, and that is what uniquely identifies the record. We look at secondary key. That is something that is a potential primary key, but we chose not to use it. We have foreign key. Foreign key is actually an attribute in one table that is a primary key in another. And we're going to look at a simple key now. Now, the simple key is any of the keys described before, and they may have one or more attributes. So it's primary, secondary, or foreign. So a simple key consists of what? A single attribute. And that attribute is unique. So that is your simple key. You know, like a one-off one, like employee ID, patient ID. Those are your simple keys. So for example, student number would be a simple key. Now, what is a compound key? Well, from you say compound, you know, you're using more than one. So compound consists of more than one attributes uniquely identifying that particular entity. So if we go back to, and then we have the, all right, oops, slow down. Come again. So the compound key consists of more than one attributes to uniquely identify an entity occurrence. Like when we saw we had an entity with more than one attributes making up the primary key. That is your compound key. Then we look at the composite key. And the composite key, again, is more than one attribute uniquely identifying the entity's occurrence. So what you realize is it's a composite key But what is different between it and the compound key is, let us look at the example here for compound. For compound, you notice that for enrollment, we are using primary keys from other tables to make our primary key for enrollment. You notice that? The primary key for student and course is what we are using to come together to make our primary key for enrollment. That's compound key. Composite key is when you have more than one attributes making up your primary key. But what you see is different is that track number in this case is not a primary key elsewhere. So when everything comes together to give you your primary key or your foreign key or your secondary key, when they come together, if all of them are actually primary keys in other tables, then that's compound. But if only some of them are primary keys in the other table, then it is composite. I'm going to let that seep in a bit. All right, and then we're going to go back to the Word document and identify the ones that are composite, compound, and simple. Okay, ready. For the customer table, the primary key, is it simple, is it compound, or is it composite? Is it? What is it?
Simple.
Exactly. Why? It only have one dege attribute. All right. I hope I use the word, you know, dege. You mean one little something, right? All right, look at this one. You notice vehicle is different? Vehicle uses 4. So it's either going to be compound or composite. Which one is it?
Composite.
You say composite? Why?
Yeah. Okay, it's more than 2.
Remember, if it's more than 1, it is either composite or compound.
I would say it's composite because it has foreign keys as well as it has keys that are unique to this table itself.
Yes,
so
and next
primary.
You are correct. So if you notice, to make up the primary key, we have to use vehicle plate number, which is a primary key in vehicle. We have to use driver's license number, which is a primary key in what? Customer. But is date and time primary key elsewhere? No. So that is what makes it composite.
Yeah.
You think you're learning?
Yes.
Want to soon start type and do interesting stuff. All right. Let us now look at the construction employee. The primary key, is it simple, compound, or composite?
Simple.
Simple. And so is salary, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So really and truly, I should be asking you about diagnosis. What's diagnosis?
I would say composite again.
Composite again. Because the only primary key, or the only foreign key, I should say, the only foreign key we have here is what? Patient ID. Yeah. Date of treatment is not a primary key elsewhere, neither is time. Right? So now we have an activity to do, and then I am going to see if we can spare ourselves this bag of talking consistently. And we're going to do a little activity afterwards in database.
Okay.
All right? Yes.
One question though. Before you continue, could you just illustrate an example of a secondary key?
Of the secondary key? Okay, let me go back. What are you seeing? The Word document?
I'm seeing my lovely classmates on the screen.
Oh, Lord.
That's a lovely teacher.
I'm not the lecturer, of course. Of course, of course.
Well appreciated, well appreciated. All right. Oh, oops. Chose the wrong thing again. Stop. Share. And this time I want to show you that. All right, cool. All right, so an example of a secondary key. Oh, I think it was event. We had mentioned that we could have used a combination of event name and time, no, and date.
Yes.
Yes, so that would be a secondary key. We have chosen to have event number, but really and truly, we could have chosen to use that and that
and
together. Yeah. So that would be your secondary key. Did I answer your question, Dexter?
Yes, but
yes.
In practicality, how would it be significant if I don't use it? If it's not being used,
right?
What's the significance of it? I know it's possible.
It's like a backup plan.
Okay.
And I go.
Oh, Courtney wants to give an example.
Right. So next time, think about and it goes for the other islands as well. So
yeah.
Again, in St. Lucia, they use NIC like how we use TRN. But each person could also have a passport. So let's say you have passport ID in there as well. Or in Jamaica, we use NIS, which is also a unique thing. So somebody can have a TRN and an NIS number. Both are unique to that individual, but you choose to use the TRN, which is probably the more general one. But if you chose to use NIS, it would have been also okay because it's a unique field to a particular individual. So it's really saying it's a candidate, what you could use as an alternative to the one that you chose as primary.
I like Courtney's explanation better.
Well said.
Thank you, Courtney. Yeah. All right. So now, this is the activity that I want you to do for me. All right. Now, the funny thing for this one is that I have done a couple of your work already. So it's just for you now to maybe come up with something else and to identify for each entity possible key fields. And the moment you have done that, you can move to look at the first activity on OUR VLE. And the first activity there is the database one, that one. And I want you to create for me the table. Remember, I showed you how to create your tables and create the fields for the table. Identify your primary key. And then I will show you how to populate the table if you have an issue with populating. All right? So try for yourself to identify the possible key fields for your organization. And then after that, just do the tables for question 1. Is there anyone who needs help with the database? We're all working on the database now, the tables. Yes? Oh, the actual activities on OUR really, database 1, database activity 1. And there's a submission link under it. All right, so Rosalind, have you started, just by nodding, have you started the database?
No, Miss, actually I'm trying to find I'm trying to find which trying to find the activity.
Oh. What you seeing on the portal or the container?
Okay, I'm seeing class activities.
Yes.
Activity 1, 2,
Mm-hmm.
3.
Yes, so it's the first one.
Okay, and all right.
I think you have to refresh. Everybody needs to refresh. It's just added it.
Oh, that's the submission link. Yeah.
Oh, so what should we do? Read through it?
Right. What I want you to do right now is just the tables. And then I'm going to walk through the queries with you. So after I do the query, then you're going to do it for yourself. And then I do another one, and then you do it for yourself. And then when you're finished, I'm going to ask you to upload it as proof that you were actually doing the work while we were working together.
Okay, so with regard to the table.
Yes, so right now, we should take about maybe 10 minutes at most to do the table.
So go into access and enter that information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what you need to do, yes, is to go into access.
All right.
Go into access, and then you're going to start making your tables.
Okay, with the same information that I see in the activity.
Exactly, yes. Yes.
All right. I'm trying to do that.
you should put them on. Hmm?
Yeah, you put them on.
Yes. I need to see. I'm trying to learn to kind of do without it. Too dependent.
Miss,
Yeah.
I cannot put it in the table.
Why?
It's not looking for me. I'm clicking. I don't know what to do.
All right. Share your screen with us. Let us see what
Okay.
you're seeing. Oh, I need to stop sharing. All right. Your time now, Ophelia. Okay. So what I want you to do now, Ophelia, is you're going to go, you can choose to go to the top where you see table 1, or you can go to the left-hand side where you see table 1 colon table. And you can, and what you will do is right click. When you right click, a drop down menu comes up, right? And you're going to click on design view. Name your table. You never name your table. But okay, to rename the table, you go back and do that same right click. Not there. You have to actually point at table 1 or table 1 colon, yeah? You right click it? Mm-hmm. All right, it doesn't allow it there. So do it over by table 1 and let's see if that is allowed. You have to go down to it. Down to right click now. Yes, rename. You see the name of the table, right? Okay, they're saying while it is open, you can't change it. So close it. Okay. And then go up to where you see table 1 and then right click and close. Not there. Not over where the fields are. All right, you go over more to where you say field name and data type. Yeah, right click it, close it. All right, right click table 1 now and rename it as student. Not there? Try again. Click on table 1. I think you minimize it. Click on table 1. No, click like left click to expand it. Okay, good. Click on table 1, call it right, rename. Good. All right, student.
Students?
Yeah, that's the name of the first table, right? Okay, press enter.
No,
No, use S. Remember, everything is singular. You're going to have to rename that later. Now you can double click it or right click on students table and select data sheet, design view. Right, good. All right, now start entering your field names. So your field names are your attributes. So those are your ID, full name, department, total credits, and average grade. And assign the right data type. So for ID, you would use text, for full name text, department text, total credits, well, those are integers, so you'd use number. And for average grade, use number also. You can stop sharing your screen now, Ophelia, so I can share mine and everyone will see what I'm doing. Thank you.
Miss,
Yeah?
I thought it was based on what we did previously.
You thought?
Whatever we had to put in access, it's based on what we did previously.
No, man, that is for your own project.
Okay.
And then, so whatever you learn in class, you're going to apply it to your project. So for the project, that is what you make up, right? But for me to demonstrate, I have to use something that everyone can work with. That's okay?
Okay.
All right, cool.
Miss Rodney?
Yes?
Hi. What did you say to use for the fill again? Text?
Right, oh yeah, so ID number would be text, full name is text, department is text, and then if you notice total credits and average grades, they're all numbers, so numbers for those.
Okay then, thanks.
No problem. Because it would just be so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We kind of want the 0 in front of it. But if it is an auto number, it won't accept the 0 in front of it.
On the older versions, there used to be a thing where you could have
the zeros in front of it.
Zeros, and you could specify whether the numerical thing was 1 digit or
2 digits. Oh. I'm sure they offered it in the old. They may offer it in the new, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you follow the rest of this 2013, something they just took away. Just fine. And then made it so contrived to do it. It's like, they try and do prototype in Word. It's ridiculous. You can't just press it. So you have to go to some settings and. On the plus side, we almost don't have to teach English because it's temporary reason. That's where you speak both of these. Just quick and then follow it's create a
Hi again.
Hi.
After you put in the information, how do you get your screen to look like yours?
Okay, so what you would do is just right click and select open.
Oh, okay.
Or you can come here and go to data sheet view. Right click and select data sheet view.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss.
Yes.
Can you check your chats?
If I can what?
I sent you a message on the chat.
Okay. All right. Nice.
You might want to stop the share before you check.
Oh, because people can see it? You can't see it. Yeah?
See the share.
Oh. And you still seeing it? Because my screen is being projected. Oh. All right, don't look, people. Don't look. No problem. Tell me what you want me to help you with. Tell me what you want, Rosalind. Share your screen.
I'm only seeing a blank. All right. That's it.
Okay. All right. Click on File. Blank database. Double click. Hold on. Yeah. All right, fine. All right. It's not saved though. All right, go back to File. Click on Save As. Save database as. Oh, it must be closed before you. Okay.
Should I click yes?
Yeah. Say no.
Okay.
What it does. I'm trying to see what it did. Okay. All right, so let's see. All right, so file, the database as, file save database as, again.
All right.
You click it?
Yeah.
And nothing came out?
The same thing.
Say yes this time. All right, save it as activity 1. Save. Oh, okay. All right, good. Enable content. All right, ready to create a table? So click on create.
Okay.
Click on table.
Okay.
All right. You're going to go over to the left-hand side where you see table 1 on the tables, yes. Right click it. And I want you to rename it as student.
Okay. You can't rename?
Yeah, because it's open. All right, say okay. All right, I want you to go over into the right panel where you see table 1 with the icon beside it at the top, right there, yes. Right click. Close. All right. So now, where are all your objects? Click on all access objects. And let me see. Over by the left-hand side below the icons.
Oh.
All right. And you want to see the tables. So click on tables. Nothing? All right. Let's go again. So you're at create, click on table. All right, I want you to right click table 1 and go into design view. Good, very good. So type student.
Table 1 student or erase
So
table 1?
the student. If you look at the document, it says you must say student is the name of the table.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, press OK. All right, now, so you're in design view, and that is where you're going to set up all of your fields. So if you look, the column headings are all the fields. So you're going to write them. The ones that you have are what? ID, full name, department, total credits, and average grade. So for each of them, each of them will take up one line.
Okay. All right. So start to enter just as I see, right?
Right, with the ID, full name. You're setting up the column headings. That's what you're setting up.
Okay, ID.
So after you create your table, you set up your column headings. After you set up your column headings in design view, then you go into data sheet view and you do up now the data that is on the each. They record for all the records now. That's what you would enter after you set up the field names.
Okay.
All right, so the next one is full name. I'll tell you them.
Okay.
Make your life easier. So the next one is full name. All right, so what's the type on ID?
Excuse me?
What's the type for ID? What type of data we would want to store for ID? Is it text? Is it number? Is it date or time? What kind of data we want?
Number.
All right, we won't use number if we don't plan to do any calculations.
Okay.
So it will be text. So you go over to where data type is.
All right, here.
For ID, yes.
Oh, okay.
And then you do
data. Oh, text.
Right.
All right.
The next field name is full name.
So where do I put it? Right here?
No, that's it. The next. Remember, you have 3 headings there.
Oh, below here. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's it?
Full name.
Full name. Okay. Okay. Enter. And it's text as well.
Right. Those who are finished, you can do up the tables for activity 2 and 3. Right. Well, I want for those who need help.
Oops.
The next one is department DEPT. Yeah. The next one is total credits.
As well. And the next one. Average grade. All right. I think that's it.
All right. So you're going to now right click where student is.
All right.
And select open or data sheet view. Any one of them that you see.
Open.
So always save first, save. Yes. Okay. All right, now enter the data now. So
okay.
That's
all right.
you now.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You can unshare now.
All right.
Yeah.
Miss,
Yes.
I did something, I don't know if what I'm doing is right.
Okay.
You want to see?
Yeah, sure. Oh, all right. So Ophelia, I'll tell you where you're going wrong now. You are go back to yeah. What is happening in that table? Or which one you want to work with? Students? Right, right
I have all
click
the numbers already. Came on.
or right click student for me. No, up the top. Yeah. And I want you to click design
Right
view.
there.
Your design view is off. I'm going to tell you why. Before you click, okay. Do you realize, Ophelia, that your headers are not corresponding with what my headers are? Your headers are ID 001, 002, 003, but those are not the headers. Look at the table that I gave you. Your headers are ID, full name, department, total credits, and average grade. Those are the headings. Those are your fields. And you notice that in
Yes.
design view, it asks you for the field names. But the field names are ID, full name, department, total credits, and average grade. So those are what you really want in your headers. So no, don't go over there. So go back to student and delete what you don't want. If you don't want it, highlight it, right click, and then press delete. Or you can just type it over. Hold on, Ophelia. All right, go to the second field that you have. Your second field is 0001. That's your second field. Your second field is 001. Yeah. If you go more, you'd see ID. Press the up arrow. No, not there.
What to
That's
do?
select
I can
all.
hardly hear you.
All right. All right, change. You see where you're at right now? Change that to full name. Yes. The one below it needs to be changed to department.
Right there.
Yeah. No, it is DEPT though. You hear Ophelia? Yeah, I see you going there. So change the whole spelling of department to DEPT. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, change the next one to, you know what you're doing now. And then the ones that are there that you don't need, make sure that you delete.
And then how do I put in the other information after? How do I put in the other information?
Oh, I didn't hear you.
I was saying, how do I put in the other information?
How do you deal with?
Put in the other information.
Oh, you mean putting in the populating the table?
Yes.
All right, I'll soon tell you. Okay, and that goes to. No, go down some more. You need to delete that row. That row that has just text in it.
This one?
So you're going, yes, go over, no, not that. That's a table. Go down to where you see average grade. The row below average grade. You see that row below average grade?
This one there?
Yes, and you see where you see that yellow? Highlight, right, go back down to the row below average grade. You see that arrow that you're seeing? You want that arrow where below, right, click now. And then I want you right click. And then delete.
Okay. Wow.
Good. Yes. All right, very good. Now you're going to go to where students is, the heading students. Right click. And you're going to click data sheet view. Yes. Save the table, yes. All right, good. Now if you notice the ID number is just 1, but we wanted it to be 0001. So I want you to right click where you're at right now for students. All right. Go over, let me see what happens. All right, fill in the data and let me see what happens.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, just fill in the first record.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Go to the next row by pressing tab. All right. Okay, fine. All right, do you think now? You should be fine now, right? Right, Ophelia?
I beg your pardon?
You should be okay now?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, so stop sharing screen.
Okay.
All right.
Miss Rodney, excuse
Yeah.
me. To start the other table, we have to repeat the entire process again.
Yes, every time you need to make a table, you do that.
Yes,
You
so
create
you create a new database. You create a new database and then you
No,
go on
no,
to
no. Not create a new database. Let me show you. You're going to stay in that same database because a database is made up of tables, right? So in our case, we have 2 tables. So that one database is going to need 2 tables. No, which one are you talking? It's activity 2 you're going to? No, that's different. What question you're asking me, Dana, is for the other activity?
No, it's for the, I noticed you had another table at the bottom of the one you wanted us to populate.
You mean in terms of the student table and then the department table?
Yes, the department table.
Right, so we need a department table to be in this same database.
Okay, so how do we go about creating that?
So you do it again, you click on create. Let me close this. All right, and I'm going to do it from scratch so you can see. Ready now? 1 second, Dexter. So you would click on create, then you click on table, and then you go into design view. It asks you to save it. You say department is the name of the other table in the database. And then now you start filling in what you know as the table headers or the field names or the attributes. So you have department ID, which is actually text. And you have department name, which is text also. And then maximum credit, which is a number, right? When you set up the structure of your table, then you can go into the datasheet preview, or you could have clicked on open right here. All right, and then now you enter your data. So what I want you to understand, Dana, is that in a database, you have more than one tables, and those tables are going to be connected.
Yes.
But we haven't done the connection as yet, though.
I know. I just wanted to know how to do it again. I didn't want to do the wrong thing.
No, I understand, but I'm explaining for those who may need the explanation too.
Okay, then. Well, thank you very much.
No problem. Yes, Dexton?
Two things. Each activity should be done in a separate database, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I noticed an activity tool, though.
Yes.
In the table, quantity table.
Right.
After you have 005, you have 007. Should I just follow suit? Yeah, let's follow.
Yes. Just follow suit. Yes. Thank you.
Hmm? Get the zeros for auto.
For the auto?
Mm-hmm. On the format, you just type numbers.
Yeah, I saw Ophelia did it. And I realized I loved it. Yeah. Thanks. What happened to you and ERDs?
Students will be thrilled to know that I will be yes.
You teach IT? Or
teach IT and computer science at this teaching. So the 20-year program is about to be.
Oh, so that means they teach in C.
Yes. Not in terms of what is in terms of. Yes. That was not the question. That's the difference. I used to answer this difference.
IT and computer science. Computer science is about implementation, and IT is about coming up with technological solutions to problems, but you don't solve them. You come up with ideas, and you give it to the computer scientists, and they are the ones, you know, who implement it. So that's why the CAPE IT syllabus focuses on society, environmental, right? We look for gaps. Yeah, you look for gaps in the different industries, and then you come up with a recommended solution to the problem. You know, then you give that to your systems analyst, who is a computer scientist, and then they will develop a solution to the problem and give it to the programmers to develop and so forth. Mm-hmm. So all of them serve very important purposes. So the IT specialist looks for gaps and where technology can be implemented, and the other computer scientist implements.
Please.
Yeah?
I'm done with the first set.
All right, do the second set now, because what I want us to do is to get practice with entering the data into the table. Did you ensure that you identify your primary keys?
No.
No? All right, because you might need to just go back to design view and make sure that you have the right field for the primary key. Because
yeah, but
now,
then
we're going to be using all three activities, the tables that we have created. We're going to be using all of them. So we're spending the time now to enter the data and get familiar with how to create tables. Then I'm going to pause from that for a while, and we're going to look at entity relationship diagrams, and then we're going to form relationships for all the activities that we have. And then after that, we do some...
But there's a little table at the bottom of department. I did not do it.
You didn't do department?
No.
Is who talking to me? 1 second. Ophelia, yeah. All right, so Ophelia, create another table now. And that table is going to be your department table. Yes. And transfer...
Create or design a table, no?
Well, you have to create it first, then you design the structure, and then you populate the table. That's the flow. Create, design structure, and then populate. And when I say design the structure, I talk about design. I'm talking about the design view, where you would set up all the attributes that you need with their types. And then when you have done that, now you'll open it to enter your data.
Okay.
All right. So if you look at the screen, you'd say that I am in design view. I have created already, and now I am in design view. So I am finished with design view, and now I am going to open it to enter my data. Right?
But it did give me an options for label, adding a name.
Oh, so when that happens, just click on right click and then say design view, and when you say design view, it will ask you to save it. You got that?
No.
No?
I'm closing what I have open. All right. I have to order the
all right, watch my screen.
So you say
watch my screen. You ready? I click on create, and then I click on table, and I agree. It doesn't give you a chance to name the table. I'm going to right click. I click on design view, and when I click on design view, it asks me to name my table. So this one I am going to name as item. All right, and then I say okay. When I say okay, I am now in my design view, and I can fill it in with my field names.
Okay.
All right. And then when you're finished with that now, you just right click and then do data sheet view. Cool?
Okay.
All right. If you itch again, let me know.
Miss Ronnie, excuse me again.
Hi, Dana.
I noticed for the quantity table that you do not have a number 6. Is that an error or is it?
Purposeful? Purposeful.
Okay then.
All
Just
right.
checking.
Yeah.
So we have to create this in a separate database.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Miss,
Yeah.
it's not allowing me to create a table.
If it's what?
It is not allowing me to create
A table?
yeah, the next table.
What it complains and say?
It's not giving me the chance. And when I click on table 2 to rename it, it's still giving
Okay, I'm
me.
going to let you share your screen, all right? But let me just finish this. Okay. Let me stop sharing. Where? Thanks. And then you're free to share now, Ophelia. When you're finished with your tables, you can go for lunch. Our lunch is from 1 to 2. Is 1 o'clock already? But I mean...
Yes, practically. Yeah.
Okay, so St. Lucia, you have what time? 2 o'clock? Soon 2 o'clock? And Dominica? Ophelia,
Yeah, what?
It's now
same time, but I'm
okay.
looking on my tables.
Okay, so you're 1 hour ahead. All right, cool. Okay, so we're going for lunch at 1, and we come back at 2. For those who are 1 hour ahead, you go for lunch at 2, and you come back at 3. Right? Okay. Now, when you come back, everybody should have their tables ready.
Okay.
I hope that's not too demanding. Yes, I will come back on time. So we leave for just a 1 hour break. But while you're eating, you maybe can just finish up your tables. So we'll have our tables completed, and then we can move happily ahead. All right? Okay.
All right.
Okay, let me see what you have, Ophelia. Okay. Okay.
You were saying to go on.
Yeah, let me see what you would do. Not there. Table. Go over to table. There you go. All right, so enter your field names. You close it? Okay. All right, table.
Yeah.
Click on table.
Table design?
No, table. Because you want to create a table, right? Table is
I am
over
not
to
seeing
the left-hand side. Far left, yes.
Okay.
All right. And then enter now your right click and now go into design view. Where you see table 2, right click. Yeah. No, not right there. You have to go up to where table 2 is. Yeah. Right click, design view. Name your table now.
Department.
All right, enter your field names and you're good to go. When you finish entering all of your field names, right, remember to right click where department is and then select datasheet preview, datasheet view. Or you can stop sharing now, Ophelia.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
No problem. Oh, I like Russia, you know.
I liked him when he was younger. No, he's like,
yeah, maybe it wasn't him, you know. Maybe it was you.
James.
I think Usher was more you when you were younger.
Yeah, no, because even when he was younger, he was still a boy. Yeah, that's around. Realize that all the earth fallible love. It's hard.
And there are realities.
I don't see you dance with contact.
You're not talking about me, I'm not talking about
That's okay.
You finish your tables?
I'm at number 3, and so I got.
Okay.
That's it. Because it's so much. I are all over the place. Easy way to get clues. It's easy when you're typing it out of your head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
You have a question, Rosalind?
No, I was just having a little difficulty with something and then I got it.
Okay.
I'm just completing the second table.
That's right.
All right.
Yes. That's exactly that. And you have the routine and seem to rule on, and the thing whether. All of the anti-sciences.
Miss,
Yeah.
I'm having a little problem again. It's not giving me an option. It's not allowing me to type.
All right.
For the department. Let me just share it for 1 minute.
All right. Who is asking?
That's Ophelia, sorry.
Ophelia?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm not seeing you. I thought you left.
Yes.
Okay, let me stop sharing my screen.
Okay.
Okay.
You said to want us to do that.
I'm sorry. Why? What happened?
So you share it, it makes it the main screen and we're typing and we go, time limits.
All right. Okay, so the department ID is causing a problem for you?
Yes, it's not
All right,
allowing me
you're
to
going
type.
to go. You're going to go back into the data sheet view. I mean into design view. Sorry, I think I'm hungry. Go back into design view. No, not there. Over where you see where you have the name of the table, which is department. You're going to right click it. Design view. Change the department ID. Change the data type from auto number to text. For department ID, you're going to change the data type to text.
Oh, that was the error.
All right. Then go back now to your.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you go where department is and right click it and you're good to go again.
Okay, Miss.
Yeah.
So, what's next? Once I'm done with the 2 tables.
What's next? Launch. How many tables you did?
That's 2, right? I
It's
saw
three,
2 of them.
3 tables.
Where's the other one?
It's there on OUR.
Really? So there is this is activity 1.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. You're still at activity 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to do.
I'm supposed to move to another one, Miss?
Yes, so make
I
a
didn't
new
know that.
database.
And where's the other table? Activity 2?
Yes, and for activity 3. All right, I am going for lunch. So see you at 2.
Oh, so I have to do this table.
Yes.
Actually, 2 on activity 2.
Yeah, activity 2 and 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
And everyone goes on a new, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we come back from lunch, we should all have our tables. So I am going to leave now because I take my food very serious.
Before you leave, one question first.
I'm hungry.
Yes.
After this lunch, when is the next break?
Because
Next time,
this is gonna take my lunch.
Next time, one step at a time. Let us eat now.
Let's put it another way, Dexter. Yes, I think
I'm going to eat and then come back to these tables.
Just so that we know, you want one break.
One in between each.
In the whole.
No, man, between each. So one in the morning break, then lunch, then one in the afternoon break. Then we'll go home. Well, those of us who are not at home, we'll go home.
All right.
All right, cool. So see you at 2.
Enjoy your lunch.
Thank you very much. And same to you. Yes, class ends at 5 today, unfortunately. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, but it's interactive, so
As hectic.
yes, it was interactive.
So
Do you want to turn off your
my what? My screen?
your
I think I need to go to something about yes and stop recording too.